Alright, so we're going to do a little oil change on a Nissan Murano 2012 V6, and we're going to do it as cleanly as possible without making a mess or getting underneath the car. I'm going to leave the car here in the garage, just to really make it simple on me and just do a quick oil change on these Nissan Muranos. So one of the first things to do is get this oil filter off on this Nissan. It's just under the driver or passenger side wheel well. You just have to kind of get your steering wheel turned over, get the tire turned over, and then move out the inner fender just in that tight little section. So I've got an oil filter wrench from doing this in the past. So actually what I'm going to do is use a set of pliers, oil pliers, and pull this guy off. I thought I had an oil filter wrench, but I was mistaken. And luckily it was not on super tight. So this one, as you can tell, is running an AMS oil filter. A little bit of oil leaking, and I should have been ready to catch that. Anyways, I'm doing this in my own garage. I'm probably gonna go get something to catch that. It's a little bit bigger than I thought. Alright, this time I got my catch basin under. Didn't think it'd have that much leaking out. It's been a while since I've changed it on this Murano here. So we're gonna go ahead and spin this filter off. I already loosened it up. Now this car was running AMSO XL, which is the 12,000 mile motor oil. Had this in for actually 13 months. I know it's rated for going 12,000 miles, 15,000 on this filter, but this being my wife's car, she only drives really 6,000 to 7,000 miles a year. She doesn't drive so much. She's done a lot of air travel, so rather than wait the mileage, I'm going based on the time. So I'm a month over, but still not too bad. So I'm going to let that go ahead and drain out. So one thing I'm doing differently on today's service versus working on, say, my truck or any other cars, I'm just going to vacuum the oil right out of the top from the oil dipstick, really just to keep it clean and see how well it goes not going underneath the car. So this is just a quick, simple pump I picked up at your local auto parts store, and really just a quick hand pump. It's vacuuming the oil out. Real simple process, and it won't work on every vehicle, namely for the reason that it just depends on your oil dipstick. So one way you can know is you can look at your oil dipstick and really compare it against the hose that you're putting down. So if your oil dipstick is a smaller diameter than this hose, the chances are that you won't be able to fit the hose in. I found this out trying to do it on a 0867 Cummins, and the hose won't go down, so you got to do the gravity drain out of the oil pan. I did put a Fumoto oil drain valve on my truck just to make it a little bit of a cleaner process. So vacuuming the oil out, you can get electric oil pumps to probably make this a little bit faster, but for the DIY application, I mean, I use this pump to pump out gear fluid from the differentials on my truck, so it works pretty well in that respect. And here, pumping out engine oil, it's not a rush to do it right now. I mean, if I was a mechanic for hire, I'd try to move this a lot faster because time is money. But just a real quick, handy tool you can use to do this without getting underneath the car. Obviously, you got to catch the oil coming out of the oil filter, which a little mistake on my part today, but quick, simple process, and we'll just let this keep pumping throughout. So one more item I'm going to do for my wife's car is actually change out her air filter. It's been over a year, and since I bought the filter, I'm just going to go change it out. So air filter box back here, real simple, just some clip-ons, just get it removed. pretty good shape, I'd say. But I'm gonna just go ahead and change it. Like I said, 7,000 miles a year. This is pretty much what it looks like if you're driving in the Houston area. Yeah, we do see seasons of a lot of pollen, but it's not a desert area, you know. So one thing to keep in mind: the frequency of changing your air filter. You can buy all the high-end air filters, whatnot, but you really need to take into account of where you live and what the environment's going to put at your car. So you live in the desert, or say you live in an area with high pollen. You know, if it's the desert specifically, it's silica that you're going to see a lot getting into your motor oil and also through your air filter. So be a little bit more cognizant of servicing your vehicle based on where you're driving and how much you're driving. So just a quick little comparison on oil filter or air filters. Here on the bottom we've got the Wix air filter, the brand new one going in. This is a used air filter. Not sure if it's the same manufacturer. This one does not have any manufacturer markings. Tells you where it's made, but really that's about it. So this is just really showing you what 1 year's worth of driving that can do to your air filter. So if you're living in a dusty environment, high pollen content, so say the desert specifically, you may want to change this out a little bit more frequently. Even if you buy a premium air filter, it doesn't address the fact that overall you're going to see more particulate on a daily basis attacking your filters. So that includes your oil filter. So you can buy the premium air filters, get a little bit more CFM through your engine, whatnot, but don't think that you can drive for more miles thinking you have more protection, because really it's just the environment can just bombard your vehicle with a lot of pollen, a lot of dirt, silica, and whatnot. So stay on top of your air filter maintenance. It's really easy to do, easier to do than your oil filter, that's for sure. As at least on this car, pretty much most vehicles, air box is a really easy component to change out. So stay on top of your air filter maintenance, because this will start bogging down your MPG, that's for sure. 12,000 miles. She only drives 7,000 in a year. But, you know, for me, it's just easier to do this once a year.